I am your astrologer, Wonder Girl, taking you to new heights. Here is your daily forecast for the day of Wednesday, April 11th, 2018. Now, what we've got going on today is the moon hanging out right here in Aquarius, bringing our attention, of course, to our future. Aquarius is a very forward-thinking sign, where our life is going, our goals and dreams for the future. Also socializing, being out and about with groups of people and friends here, and about thinking about your life in unusual ways to get some good insights on how you can solve some problems. Okay, so that's what's going on with the moon hanging out in Aquarius. Now, at the end of yesterday and into today, we had this Aquarius moon in a square with Jupiter and a sextile here with the sun. So what the square to Jupiter could bring is definitely some difficult things going on, maybe some more changes in life that you realize that you need to make in order to move forward, in order to reach some goals and dreams of yours. Maybe as well some difficult things coming up from beneath the surface that just don't feel quite right, coming in with Jupiter and Scorpio in a square with the moon. So there could have been some uncomfortable things that came up. Okay, maybe some deep, heavy things, you wanting to disengage from your life, wanting to see the big picture, but having some other deep changes or hard things emotionally come up that maybe you need to deal with. Okay, so I think that's what was going on at the end of yesterday. With the sextile the sun happening at the same time, even though there may have been some challenging things that were coming up, feeling like maybe you had to make some more changes before you could move forward, I do think in some way that they were good for you, opening up some doors for you to envision a new life for yourself, become a new person, get more excited or more inspired about your life and where it's going. Okay, so even if some hard things did come up last night, I think they were helping you to see a new life for yourself, a new vision of your future in some way that's very important to you. All right, and that's what happened yesterday into today. Now at 9 a.m. Mountain Time, the moon then moves further through Aquarius. It gets to almost the last degree here and comes into a sextile with Uranus. And I think what that can bring at 9 a.m. Mountain Time, I like to think is a good opportunity here again to get more insights about your life, to envision a new future for yourself, to kind of break the bonds with some things that are holding you back, that are restricting you, so that you can hopefully figure out what makes you more free, what it is that you want to do, what's more authentically you, so that you can move forward. Okay, so I really like this that's coming in at 9 a.m. today. I think it can be very freeing, very liberating, very inspiring for you to envision a new future, a new life for yourself. Get excited about what's going on, even if there have been some challenges or some changes, especially with the sun in a square to Pluto that have been going on. Okay, whenever Uranus is involved, you could always get something unexpected that could come up, an unexpected thought or solution about your life, about where it's going, or someone else did something unexpected to you. But with this sextile, I like to think if anything does come up at 9 a.m., I think it's going to be helpful here to help you just see things differently in a way that's better, to associate or to maybe get some insights from being out with groups of people, from socializing. Maybe whatever comes up is going to help you to socialize in some way, or to just get some insights about where you see your life going and how you can create a life, envision a life, reach a goal and dream that is better for you. Okay, so that's what I see going on there at 9 a.m. Then after that, at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, the moon then leaves Aquarius and comes into Pisces. So when it comes into Pisces, what that brings our attention to then is what's going on inside us spiritually, what's going on, how we feel on the inside after a lot of things have come up, unexpected things, maybe a lot of changes. When the moon goes into Pisces, it then comes time for us to get right with them internally, for us to reflect on everything that's been going on lately so that we can overcome the past, actually put these new insights into action, of course, once the new moon comes in a few days. All right, and so I think that's what's going on in Pisces, is we're just trying to process everything emotionally, spiritually, that has happened to us lately, so that we can start to hopefully move forward in a better way, coming in at the new moon, feeling more free, especially after the sextile to Uranus today, to express ourselves, to do some things that it is that we want. All right, and I think that's what the moon in Pisces is just saying. How can you get right with yourself, work some internal stuff out, make sense of everything here so that you can feel more comfortable moving forward. All right, So that's happening there. Then tomorrow morning, so this isn't going to happen until tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Mountain Time, as the moon moves further through Pisces, it then makes a sextile here over to Saturn and Capricorn. And I also really like this tomorrow at 6 a.m. I think what that could bring up here is a chance for you early tomorrow morning to start to feel like you're being more at peace with your life. You're understanding more about what you need internally, emotionally, spiritually to feel better about your life now that you're processing everything. And I think because you're processing everything and understanding in a very spiritual level what you need, it's helping you here where Saturn is, to put your life in the right direction, to create more of the boundaries in your life that you need to focus on the things that are important to you, to move forward in a way with more discipline, with more dedication. And I see it being very, very positive, not like a restricted kind of dedication, but like more of a feeling at peace with it coming in. Like, okay, now that all this stuff has come up, now a lot of these changes are being made or are being initiated with the square to Pluto from the sun coming in that I've been talking about in some of my other dailies. Now that some of these changes have been initiated, that a lot of things in life in the past few months since the beginning of this year have totally been transformed in a lot of ways. I think now, as the moon's coming into Pisces, you're starting to understand it better. Maybe it's all starting to hit you emotionally right before this new moon, and you're starting to understand better what it is you need to do now in order to feel more at peace with your life, put it in the right place, and you're beginning to feel more comfortable. I like to think moving towards a direction that is going to be better for you after so much has happened. Okay, so I like tomorrow morning. I actually don't like, I actually don't mind too much what's going on today. I think once we get to the sextile to Uranus at 9 a.m., things can be pretty good too. So I don't mind today too much going on. I think, yeah, just a chance to get maybe some good insight here and to process everything internally. Okay, so that's what we've got going on there. Things happening in the background. We do have the sun in a square with Pluto, which I've been mentioning, coming in. All right, and I guess it's going to be exact about today, so that again could bring up some big changes here, big changes in your life and where you see your life going, and your reputation, and how people know you. All right, in a really, really big way with this sun in a square to Pluto here. Maybe now that so much has happened since the beginning of this year, lots of changes going on, maybe now that you've had more time to reflect, especially with the moon coming into Pisces today, you're realizing in order for me to feel most comfortable, in order for me to feel like the most myself, maybe there are still some more changes that I need to make in some way to put my life in the right direction, okay? Because this is a square and because it's Pluto, there could be some hard changes that come up, some very, very intense feelings, maybe not wanting to change, resistance to change, afraid of change, okay? Or afraid of this flavor of changes that are happening. But I think if you just allow yourself to make the changes, okay, without inflaming situations any more than they need to be, that you are going to feel better off. Maybe that's what the moon in Pisces is going to say. Now that you're making changes here, now you can start to feel more at peace if you've been making changes in the right ways, dealing with your emotions. Now you can start to reap the benefits of all of that work and maybe conflict in some way, okay? So I don't know, I kind of do like what's going on. I mean, the sun square Pluto is like the hardest aspect of this week, and it's happening today, yesterday and today, and then I think it's going to start to get easier from here with all these sextiles to Neptune coming in at the end of this week. So I think if you can just make some hard changes in your life, you're going to start to understand why you need to make them, feel more at peace with your life, and begin to envision a future that is better for you with the moon in Aquarius and Pisces today. We also do have, while that's going on, Venus in a trine with Mars, really helping us to narrow down our options and to start building on something that's important to us. All right, and so if you've been watching my horoscopes for the past few days, that's what I've been saying. We've been changing our life here with the sun in a square to Pluto in a big way to put it in a direction that we hopefully like better, or that really works for us. And I think once we make that change, then it's going to be a lot easier for us to understand what it is that we value, to move forward on our values, okay? Or maybe first we need to figure out what our values are and then make the change to change our life to be in accordance with what is important to us. So I think there's a lot of that going on. With Mars in a trine to Venus, I also haven't mentioned this too much, but Venus rules relationships. So this could be lots of stuff going on in relationships with other people coming in. Happening. What else? Money too. Doing lots of stuff with your money. in some way, working a lot with your relationships with other people, because it's a trine. I don't see it being too bad. I don't see it being too bad. Sometimes Mars and, you know, and Venus, maybe Mars can be a little aggressive in relationships sometimes when it touches Venus, but because it's a trine, I do think that maybe this is more positive. Maybe if you're working with other people, trying to figure things out, yeah, you're trying to work with other people to better understand what is important to you, what you need in some way. So there could be a lot of stuff going on with relationships too. Could be a little bit, it could be a little bit aggressive with Mars involved, but I think in the end the result will be good. Part of the reason why I think the result will be good here of you working with other people, doing a lot with relationships, working with your money, or what else, or building on something, is because towards the end of the week, Venus and Mars, which are in a trine with each other, are eventually going to make a sextile with Neptune, coming in both these planets. And I think those are both very, very positive. Venus in a sextile with Neptune really helping you to feel much better about your relationships, to cultivate relationships that are more understanding, for you to be more understanding of other people, okay? To start to do things in a way that feels better for you, create a life based on your values that really resonates with you, okay, to start to put your life in a better direction with Mars in a way you like better. So I do see things easing up, I like to think, or bringing more peace to you at the end of the week. It's just a matter of making the changes that you need to make at the beginning of the week to your life, to where you see your life going, to committing to something in some certain direction and building on it, maybe on working with other people too. And then I think once you do that, the peace, the compassion, the understanding is going to start to come towards the end of the week, and even maybe the creativity, the compassion as well. A lot of times you get with Neptune too, coming towards the end of the week, but I think it's only after you make these changes, you figure out what you value, and you begin to act on your values as you're making changes. It's only until that happens that you'll start to feel better. Okay, we also have, what else? Jupiter in a sextile with Pluto. So any changes you make, even if they're hard, coming in, not only are they going to help you to live your values, create a life you feel more at peace with, but they're also going to help you to understand your life better, to understand what you're feeling deep inside yourself, to understand some changes that are going on with you. So I just see lots of positive things, I think, happening, even if the Sun square Pluto is hard. Any changes you're making to put your life on better footing, to be more solid, more stable, more confident, more secure, to have better relationships. So even if these changes are hard, I like to think good things are behind them. Chiron at 29 degrees, Pisces could also inflame some issues, make them seem a lot worse than they are here. Maybe feeling like it's uncomfortable on the inside. Maybe feeling like old situations keep coming back to haunt you, like you can never step into new chapters, be a new person, move forward. But again, with Chiron, just needing, like, you know, to not worry about Chiron too much. Okay, it causes a lot of trouble here, Chiron does, but in the end it's not that bad as some other things going on. Okay, so just to not worry too much about Chiron, even if it is making a lot of noise, because you'll be fine in the end if you just don't give up, and if you just keep pushing through, making some changes. We're coming into, and I think I've been saying this in my other few daily horoscopes, we're coming into a major, I think it's going to be a good new moon. It's the first new moon of the astrological new year in Aries. It's the first new moon after Mars has left Sagittarius, Saturn has left Sagittarius. So I really like to think we're starting to come into a new chapter, especially as Chiron moves into Aries, Uranus moves into Taurus very soon. So things are about to change in a big way, and just don't get stuck thinking that your life is always going to be one way. It's always going to be hard. It's always going to be the way it has been for the past few years, because it's not, and it's going to change very soon, and you're going to see it if you weren't seeing it already. And yeah, and to just not worry about that too much, because I think we're coming to the end here of a time of change, and there are better things behind all of the other things that have been going on. It's just a matter of just waiting for all of it to come together, yeah, and doing what needs to be done to stay the course. Okay, so that's what I've got for you. Your card for the day is the Tower reversed. Maybe this card comes up reversed sometimes, and we're resisting change. We don't want to change, especially with the square to Pluto. And I can understand that. I mean, Venus and Taurus does not like to change, likes to keep things stable. And so maybe we don't want to change going on. That could be very hard. You know, we're feeling like we've been changing enough. Do we really have to do this one more time? So that could maybe be a difficult thing coming in. Maybe as well with this card, sometimes you get thinking it's worse than it really is. you know, like feeling like everything around you is falling down when it's really not. Really not that bad as you think it is. You know, what was it? I posted a quote on Instagram that's like, when you think it's the ending, it's actually the beginning. And maybe that's what's going on. You're thinking everything's falling apart around you, and actually things are starting to come together, I think, more so than they have recently. And I think the message here is to not resist change if there is any change happening, and to realize maybe it's not as bad as you may think it is or as it feels, okay? So that's what I've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching my horoscope. If you like it, please like it on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends, and I will talk to you later.